morning, everybody. Good afternoon to others. My name is Sean O'Connell, and I'm a senior manager here at Tableau. I've been with Tableau for about 6 years now, and throughout my career, a lot of my success has come from working with organizations who were leveraging embedded analytics. Can everybody else hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
we can.
We can. Yep.
Okay, cool. So a lot of my success has come from working with organizations who are leveraging embedded analytics, which is probably why they asked me to help lead today's discussion. So what is embedded analytics? Well, Tableau Embedded Analytics enables your organization to embed and customize interactive analytical capabilities to create a seamless experience within your products, applications, websites, and more. And typically there's 4 key drivers behind why organizations leverage embedded analytics. The first being to unlock new revenue streams by monetizing your data. The second is elevating customer experience with unique self-service and personalized analytics. The third, differentiating your organization's services or offerings compared to the competition. And then lastly, and most commonly, is just bringing the insights to where your users are, avoiding the need to hop back and forth from workflow to analytics and back. So whether you're looking to accomplish 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of these goals, Tableau can be the perfect partner to enable your organization to achieve success at scale. So I'm going to turn it over now to one of our top premier partners, XeoMatrix, to walk us through the rest of today's presentation. And I'd like to introduce Chris Monahon, the CEO of XeoMatrix, as well as Stuart Tinsley, the Director of Sales and Client Success. So take it away, Stuart.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. Hi, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces today from our data-driven community. So good to see you on, and everyone else. Great to meet you. Today, we're going to talk everything embedded. I've been in the Tableau platform for about 10 years. I used to work at Tableau. I love talking about embedded analytics. You know, it's a use case that we've seen come up so often in the last couple of years. So hopefully by end of session, you have a better foundation of what embedded analytics is, how you can deploy that. And Chris has some really awesome demos that he's going to walk through today. Chris, we can go 2 slides forward. Awesome. So for anyone on the call that isn't familiar with embedded analytics, this slide will hopefully cover that. And Sean alluded to this a minute ago, but embedded analytics is simply the integration of analytics tools and capabilities within other software applications. And the goal is simply to provide users with access to real-time insights and data-driven decision-making capabilities within the context of the applications that people use on a daily basis. Chris, we can go to the next slide. Awesome. So who is buying embedded analytics? We see very typically 3 different scenarios. The number 1 are your external portal scenarios. So think about companies who are sharing data with their partners, with their customers, with suppliers, franchisees. The second is a solution provider. These are companies, typically software companies, that are integrating data within their own product or service. And the third scenario are information providers. So companies that are selling insights and data as an analytics service. So we've included some logos there of different examples. So why embedded analytics, right? So first of all, there's a substantial value that you can have for your business if you offer embedded analytics. You can increase engagement with your customers. You can add additional revenue streams, right, by offering insights to customers. And you can also refine and uplift your competitive edge in the market. It's also a substantial value for your customers. You're giving them self-service analytics where they can gain actionable insights and they can look at rich and engaging content. And why Tableau? Well, if you're familiar with Tableau, you know that the learning curve is not steep. You can build dashboards in hours, not days. It's one of the easiest platforms to customize and to integrate And it could also scale flexibly and securely. So what we've heard from customers over the years, what they needed with embedded analytics. Like, first of all, they wanted to be able to streamline their external reporting and build better relationships with their customers and their partners. They wanted to be able to quickly integrate Tableau, build custom dashboards that were ready to be accessible via their customers. They wanted to create a new level of engagement and interactivity with their customers. They wanted to uplift their brand. And all of them are often very concerned about security. So they want security to be at the forefront of these deployments with embedded. Chris, we can go to the next slide. So as you're thinking about embedded analytics, you kind of look at two different scenarios. You either build it or you buy it, right? And there are a couple of key criteria to consider. And that would be time to market, scalability and flexibility, the core expertise that your team has, the resource allocation, the maintenance updates, and the overall customer experience. If you go the path of building an embedded solution, you can almost inherently expect a longer development time and one that requires more resources and most certainly more maintenance that will be required. If you buy, you can expect a quicker time to market, a better customer experience, and less maintenance costs. So we wanted to include a slide here about a company called IDBS. What they do is they help researchers quickly spot data anomalies and outliers that can lead to major scientific breakthroughs. So with Tableau, they brought their embedded solution to market in 3 months. And they were able to create intuitive, embedded analytics that empower R&D organizations all over the globe with real-time self-service analytics. And they could unleash the power of scientific data, which make a direct impact on all laboratories that use IDBS solutions. This is an example here of Tableau embedded into their application. Awesome. I want to turn it to Chris at this point. He's got some really awesome demos that show the art of the possible with embedding and lots of very helpful context. So Chris, I will pass it to you.
All right. Thank you, Stuart. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Monahon. I'm president of XeoMatrix. I am based here in Austin, Texas. I've been doing data analytics for about 20 plus years. So I've got a lot of experience in the industry. In my career, I was a web developer. So I really enjoy advising, clients on different embedded strategies and just learning all the different things and ideas they have on how to deliver analytics to either their customers or their partners. So it's something I'm really passionate about. A little bit about our firm. We are a Tableau Gold partner, and we're headquartered here in Austin. We are very active in the Tableau community. We sponsor the Austin Tug here, but we like helping organizations with the deployment, training, and adoption of Tableau. That's what we do. We are a full service shop, but when it comes to embedded analytics, we've sort of carved out a niche in advising clients on the best way to build highly scalable solutions using Tableau. So today, what I want to talk to you about is how to craft an embedded strategy. As Stuart said, I'm going to be sort of painting the art of possible, showing you a couple demos, and just explaining some of the different options you have when you're trying to embed. I guess when we talk about embedded, Stuart gave a couple examples, but we want to define first what is embedding. And frankly, it could be anything, right? You can embed into a portal, into a custom application, into just a simple web page. It could be internal and external. There are many different use cases you can do with embedded. And we're going to cover all those today and see which one sort of best fits maybe your organization. And so that'll help you. I'll give you all the information you need to sort of craft that embedded strategy that we talked about. So there are basically several different types of implementation options you can have. I'll review these 5 today. One is a simple web page, right? Embedding Tableau in a simple web page. I'll show you how easy that is with a couple clicks. You can also embed in third-party applications. You can also embed in, you can have Tableau out of the box, which I'll show you as well. And then there's some custom web portals and applications, which we'll cover as well. So when you're talking about embedded and trying to plan a strategy for your organization, there's a lot of different factors you need to consider. First of all, you need to identify who are your end users. Who are you going to be delivering analytics to? Because you need to identify that use case. What type of analytics are you going to be delivering? What type of security is required? And then also, is this an internal or external use cases? Embedded isn't always external, it can be internal as well. So those are some of the things you need to consider. Is this going to be a custom solution? And if so, is that going to be fully branded or white labeled? All this comes into play because you need to understand how much development is going to be required to bring your solution, to launch. And you need to determine then, is that something that we want to then support internally, or do we need some assistance like a third-party consulting firm or maybe some other department to help you with that type of development? All that plays because you need to understand, what are your future maintenance and support for it. Another thing to consider too is, is this going to be hosted in Tableau? Are you going to be using Tableau on-prem or Tableau cloud? We'll touch on that and some of the options you have there. And then lastly, security is first and foremost when it comes to doing embedded analytics. You always need to understand sort of what are the security requirements from an authentication standpoint, getting into the portal itself, what permissions you have as far as the content people are allowed to see. And then lastly, row level security, what kind of data is the user allowed to have access to? So security is one of the #1 considerations we always discuss up front when we talk about embedded analytics. So we'll cover that a little bit as well. So what are the different methods for embedding? Let's just cover that real quick. So some of you guys might not be programmers. I understand that, but there's at a high level, there's really just 2 simple ways to embed a Tableau dashboard inside a portal or a web page, right? There's the simple embed code, which is simply just little HTML tags that you can copy and paste with a couple clicks into a web page, or you can do API coding. This is where you really leverage Tableau's robust embedded API to do a lot of the programming, and that does require some programming skill sets. So the difference is, embed code, it's quick, it's easy to set up. There's no maintenance of the code. It's real simple to implement, right? However, you can't really customize it as much as you would want to. If you're going to do something that's a little more white labeled, right, you would use API coding and programmatically tailor or customize the interface to, as you see fit, to integrate Tableau. The second is, I've discussed, when you're going to deploy Tableau embedded analytics, you have a couple options too of where Tableau actually resides. Tableau can, of course, there's 2 options with Tableau. You have Tableau Cloud and Tableau Server. Both are great options. Tableau Cloud is fully hosted. That is obviously, there's no maintenance required with that. I would say probably 90% of our clients are on or have moved to Tableau Cloud. So that's the most popular choice. But sometimes there are some security reasons that people want to have their own hosted version of Tableau Server, which is also good as well. So if you have strict data requirements, you might consider that as well. But I would say most of our clients are now moving to Tableau Cloud for when they're doing embedded analytics. When we're talking about Tableau, the licensing considerations are something to discuss as well and to understand fully. So when you're going to do a deployment, it's important to understand how many users you're going to be deploying Tableau to, right? And that can help factor into maybe your decision on the licensing model you want to adopt. So there's two types of licensing models. You have your named user licensing and your usage-based licensing. Named user is obviously, as it says, you're having dedicated seat licenses, right? You have a known number of users and you know who's going to use it. So if it's very predictable, you know what the usage is going to be, you would want to do something more like a named user license. On the usage-based licensing, that's when you have maybe a large number of users, but there's light usage and maybe infrequent usage. So imagine if you're going to deploy this to 10,000 users and maybe only 1,000 of them are actively logging in. You could do this on the fly and have usage-based licensing. And the important thing to understand is that it's you're being charged based on the number of impressions or views of the dashboard, and that's a slightly different model than named user licensing. So both are great options, and when we meet with clients, we help advise them on the different licensing models that work best for them. So just wanted to cover that as well. So now let's get to some demos. So the first example I want to talk about is simple web pages. So if I have Tableau and I want to embed it, maybe in a public-facing dashboard or website, that's very simple to do. You see that a lot in the public sector, especially. I know during the pandemic, a lot of states had public-facing dashboards with Tableau out on their websites, which was great to see and very helpful to the community. Here's an example of Redfin. They've gone ahead and embedded Tableau straight into their website, so people can analyze their real estate data and see all the different trends in the real estate market. The advantage of using an embed code to do something like embed in a simple web page is that it's, again, very easy, extremely easy to set up. There's no real portal development needed. You just have a simple website and pop the code in. One thing to note, though, is that security may be required to authenticate into Tableau if you are using maybe not a public-facing version of Tableau. If it's your own version, you might still have to have a sign-in. So that's just the only thing to consider. But other than that, it's very seamless. So let me go ahead and show you an example of this. Here, as I mentioned, here's Redfin's website, and you can see how they've embedded Tableau straight into the web page. And it's, it looks pretty slick. And the way they did this is that if you go to the share button, there's the simple embed code there, and they just plopped it straight into their web page. And this allows, any people that are looking at the website to analyze the different trends right here within the confines of the Redfin website. I went ahead and created a quick little demo on Wix. It's just a free website creator, but I wanted to show how easy it is to do something like this. So I went ahead and created High Tech. It's a new high tech company, I guess, and I went ahead and created a new web page. Now, so without getting to the details of how Wix works and how you set up web pages and things like that, what I did was I used Tableau's embed code to embed a nice looking dashboard here in the website. And so this is a Salesforce opportunity tracker. In fact, I think Stuart created this one. But the way we went ahead and did that, if you go ahead and look in our Tableau online site, in Tableau Cloud, you can see here that we have the dashboard here. In order to go ahead and embed this, all you have to do is click on share, copy the embed code, and come back to the Wix editor here. And then you can simply edit the code, and you just cut and paste the code straight there. And that's it. That's all you have to do. It's that easy to do embed code. So that's why this is very popular to do. We see this done a lot of times, especially if it's like a beta version of your web, maybe a portal you're trying to get off the ground. Embedding is a good way to do that. Now, one interesting thing too is that, I think when people think of embedded, they always think about Tableau dashboards, right? But it's a new world and everyone's moving to AI. So one of the new use cases we're seeing is that people are embedding Tableau Pulse into dashboards, into portals. And so it's a very cool use case. For those that aren't familiar with Tableau Pulse, it's a new feature in Tableau. This is the digest here. And what it does is it uses AI to show your different trends. So you can see here is a summary of my metrics that's produced by AI. And then down below, it shows different metrics that I'm following. And so if I want to, for example, drill down onto profit, I can click down on profit, and then it brings up different trends that are called out here. Now, I can also go ahead and filter this by clicking on different filters here. I can break this down by customer name, and I can slice and dice this all right here. Again, using generative AI, Tableau Pulse is going to go ahead and search all my data and surface the questions that are important to me that I might, or suggest questions that I might want to ask next. So for example, it recommended that maybe I should look into which customer name decreased the most. So if with a single click, I can go ahead and get that analysis right there at my fingertips. So this is a very cool feature and a very good use case of using it in a portal. So we're seeing a lot more of that instead of just doing dashboards. So let's go ahead and go to our next use case here. We'll talk about third-party applications. So third-party applications, you can think of a lot of internal use cases for this. So like wikis or internal portal intranets. So one very popular one is SharePoint. Integration with SharePoint is very easy to do. The reason a lot of people use this as an embedded use case is because a lot of your users are already familiar with going to the wiki. So let's go ahead and embed Tableau there rather than having them go to Tableau. So by putting your dashboard straight into SharePoint, for example, you're making it real easy and Tableau very accessible to your end users. Again, there's no coding involved. It can use just simple embed code. And since with something like SharePoint, it can integrate easily using Active Directory or some sort of single sign-on option. So let me go ahead and show what that looks like. Here's my SharePoint portal. And here you can see I have this nice dashboard embedded here. The way I did that was I took the dashboard here, and again, with a single click, I just went ahead and copied this URL here. And then I can come here and edit the web page that we have. Let me go ahead, edit his. And then again, similar to what we did on our website there, we can go ahead and edit this web page and pull up the embed code. 1 second here. And we can go ahead and add the URL as well. So right there in our embed code, we'll go ahead and add the URL, and it's as easy as that. So a little cut and paste, no coding required. So for you that aren't very technical, again, this is very easy to do. So hopefully I'm showing you guys how easy it is to integrate Tableau into any of your applications. So let's look at a couple other examples here. The next very, very popular integration that we have is how do you embed Tableau in Salesforce? Now, of course, everybody knows that Salesforce and Tableau is owned by Salesforce. And so they have a very tight integration here. And again, it's just a few clicks and real easy to do. The main reason we see a lot of people embed Tableau in Salesforce, directly in Salesforce, because a lot of their end users want to be able to access and do analysis right there with it without leaving Salesforce. So with a couple clicks, you can drill down on accounts and see dashboards based on that particular customer or client or that product that you're interested in analyzing right there without leaving Salesforce. Again, no coding necessary. In this case, instead of using an embed code, we're going to use what they call the Tableau Viz Lightning component. It's integrated straight into into Salesforce, and allows you to drag objects on and off the page, and then you can map it and filter by different Salesforce objects like account or contact. Again, all this works with Active Directory or maybe Salesforce MFA. Any sort of single sign-on can be leveraged to do that integration. This also, what I'm going to show you here, also works for Salesforce Community Cloud. So let me go ahead and show you how that works. So here you can see we have, this is the Tableau Viz Lightning web component. I'll send out these URLs after the webinar, but it's real easy to install. In fact, it's sort of out of the box now, but there's tons of documentation on how this works, how to integrate single sign-on, things like that. But at a high level, we have this dashboard here. This is a dashboard we built in our demo Tableau Cloud site. You can see here, whoops, let me go ahead and reconnect. It's like I timed out here. What we have here is that we have a filter here, and the filter is based on customer, right? So we have a filter based on customer, and that's very important because in a second here, we're going to leverage that as a filter in Salesforce. So here you can see I have a bunch of different accounts that we have. Let's click on Ace Electronics. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the page here. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to pull in the Tableau Lightning component and do the integration. So if you scroll down on the left here, you can see there's this Tableau View component. I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop that here right under, let's say, right under quick links. The next thing I can do is I can grab that URL that I have, and I can cut and paste that right here straight into the parameter components here. So all these little parameters are used to configure the Lightning component. I'll go ahead and I'll make this, let's make the height a little taller here. And then what we want to do is we want to now filter on a record ID, right? So we want this dashboard to filter only for Ace Electronics. So I'll click this button here and I'll say that the customer name is going to map to the Salesforce account name. So we'll do something like that. And right now you can see this will filter just to Ace Electronics. So let me go ahead and save that. And then we'll go back and exit. And now what we have is our dashboard filtered just by Ace Electronics. And so if I go back and I click on, for example, Acme Corporation, which is very, very popular company, we'll see here that now I'm filtering just by Acme Corporation. So again, without any real coding, I'm able to integrate into Salesforce seamlessly and really allow our sales reps, anybody on support to be able to access the dashboards they need without leaving Salesforce. So let's go ahead and talk about our next use case. When we talk about embedded analytics, sometimes we don't talk about leveraging what we already have, and that's Tableau out of the box, right? So Tableau out of the box, in a sense, is a portal, and we find that we have several clients that actually provide Tableau out of the box to their end clients to allow them to do analysis. And the reason being is that, it's a very familiar experience for many users. It's obviously can lead to faster adoption because a lot of their clients or partners are already familiar with how to use Tableau. And they really have confidence in the analytics that they're providing because they know that it's powered by a great brand like Tableau. And the platform in itself speaks for itself. So we see this done a lot. Again, there's no development obviously required, and all the maintenance and stuff is maintained by Tableau, especially if you're using Tableau Cloud. So this is a very popular use case. And for those that maybe are new to Tableau, I can show you sort of what Tableau out of the box looks like. This is the landing page when you go to when you first log in. And it shows all the hierarchies that these are called projects or folders, right? And so any of this, if you were going to build your own portal, obviously would require some development, additional coding to build this in, but you get all this out of the box. And so here we can go ahead and click on dashboards, and then we can get all the analytics we need right here, right out of the box without any coding. So again, this is a very popular option that we see for people that maybe want to just leverage Tableau. So let's go ahead and talk about custom web portals. Now, this is really when we talk about embedded analytics, what people are really, really talking about. They want to see a fully customized experience, right? We advise a lot of clients on how to go about doing this. Again, this is different than the other examples we showed. It's not going to be a simple click and use embed code. It does require some programming. But the end result is that you get something that's very white labeled, very custom. In fact, a lot of people don't even know it's Tableau. And so it's a very popular use case, and you can scale this to thousands of users. And so again, I think the reason a lot of people do this is because they want to present a very white labeled experience to their clients or to their partners. And they want to make it seamless. So with a custom solution like this, when you log into the portal, you seamlessly log into Tableau. There's no indication that you're even using Tableau. A real popular reason we see people leverage the Tableau platform is because it's going to accelerate your development. This goes back to Stuart's earlier comments around build versus buy. If you're trying to build your own solution with custom visualizations or the drill down folder hierarchies and all that, that's a lot of work. And so what we find is a lot of clients, most clients, when they're using Tableau, they get about a 30%, they can bring their product to market about 30% faster than if they tried to build it themselves. And that's a huge saving. Sometimes we've seen it higher than that. So the accelerated development and lower cost of maintenance is the main reason we see people go with a custom solution. There also is some web edit capabilities, which you can go ahead and upsell or monetize. So what we've seen is that there's several different tiers with a custom solution that people offer to their clients. So maybe basic dashboard viewing is the first tier, but then there's certain subject areas that you might monetize access to certain dashboards, or you can also upsell by saying you can now create your own reports within the portal. So all that is very common, what we see with these type of solutions. So let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. Here's an example. If you go to our website, we have some demos that are sort of paint the art of the possible. Here's one that's the franchisee portal. I'll go ahead and pull that in. With this solution, we've gone ahead and provided two different logins. John Smith is going to be your store manager in this use case, and then we have Julie Evans, which is your regional manager. So I'll go ahead and log in as Julie Evans, and then when I log in, you'll see that we have this gray space here. This is going to be Tableau. This is going to be your dashboard. Everything else, this is considered the portal, the wrapper. So this blue bar up at the top, the black navigation on the left, all that is customization. For those that are a little techie, this is using a React front end. So it's very easy to customize for developers that know some sort of JavaScript, and they can go ahead and use the embedded API to build something like this. We usually say a prototype like this can be built out in half a day to a day. That's how quickly you can build things out with Tableau's architecture. Now, with this portal, you can see here that we've gone ahead and customized a lot of things. So we've added maybe some buttons here to do exporting to PDF or CSV. In addition, we've gone ahead and added some filtering capabilities. So we added filters here on the left, so you can filter by store. You can change the views and have different dashboards as well. So again, we're leveraging Tableau to provide the analytics, and then we're just simply building a custom portal to handle the navigation and the filtering. Now, there is something I want to comment on, and this is a sort of a design decision if you are going to go down the custom portal route. One is how much do you customize from a white labeling sort of standpoint, and how much do you allow Tableau to do? So for example, we go ahead, we have the filtering drop-down menu here to filter by store. We could have easily moved that into the dashboard itself. There's some advantages to that. Now you don't have to go back to your development team every time you want to go ahead and maybe add different filters. But in some cases, you might want that more custom filtering experience. So you might want to push it out into the web development. It's all up to you, but you just need to weigh the maintenance cost of what it is to maintain that code moving forward. So this is a great example of how we use portals. This is another example here, an Art of the Possible. This is a broker portal, just a different layout. But again, all this is going to be Tableau, and we are going to use filters, use the API to go ahead and filter on the left to filter the dashboard down below. So let me go ahead and we will touch on our last use case here, and this is customer-facing products. So again, similar to portals, customer-facing products or applications need analytics. Think of sort of your Fitbits, things like that. If you're logging in, you always see charts, visualizations, trends. That's very common, and so we get a lot of organizations that have a product and want to build Tableau to power their analytics in their product. Again, it has the same sort of advantages that you would see with a custom portal. It's going to be a completely customized experience, white labeled, seamless integration and login with Tableau, and it's going to accelerate their development and lower your maintenance costs. That's the most important thing. So let's go ahead and look at an example. This is one that Tableau built. So here's this is their embedded dashboard sort of portal here, and they have one that is it's a finance application. So it's Cumulus Bank, and what I'm going to show you here is just a different style of or a different approach in doing embedding Tableau. So here you can see they've actually embedded different dashboards on the front landing page, just little screenshots of the dashboards themselves. Now, again, using and this is the art of the possible, you can go ahead and add additional ones, right? So this is you can see here now I have the executive dashboard that I added there. This is very cool. And again, this just shows the power of the Tableau API. You can go ahead and really any sort of experience you want to do, you can embed right there in your portal or your application. Now, if I want to go ahead and look at some different reports here, I can drill down on the left hierarchy here and I can see credit risk. So let's pull up credit risk. And you see here I can instantly get the insights I need. Now, the nice thing about this is they've gone ahead and added some additional features. So you can see we can filter, we can download, but they added another capability here, which is editing the dashboard. So when we talked about adding some upsell features or monetizing your product or your platform, this allows you to edit the Tableau dashboard right here within the portal. So it's a very cool use case, and it's something that we see a lot more common nowadays as well. So going back to our, so to wrap things up, I think, those are the 5 different high-level use cases that we've seen. Hopefully I gave you a lot of information on how to craft a strategy and find out which one maybe fits best for your organization. I would say when you're when you're sitting down and trying to come up with your embedded strategy, again, step back and identify, number one, who are your users and what is the use case, right? And then secondly, determine how much customization or maintenance you want to take on and how are you going to go about doing that? Do you have that knowledge in-house, or do you need a third party? And then lastly, think about how you're going to host Tableau. Is it going to be on-prem or in the cloud? And then the number one thing to consider always with embedded is how to secure your data and your reports. So I'll leave you with that. Stuart, I will then turn it over to you for any Q&A. Oh, one last thing as well. We are offering 2 hours of consultation. So if you guys do have questions, please feel free to reach out. Happy to chat with you guys about any questions you have regarding your particular use case. And we can just talk about some of the options that might work best for you. So Stuart, turn it over to you.
Cool. All right. I've got one question that came in.
Yeah.
And please use the chat window right now with any questions that you have. Someone asked about the licensing requirement to use Tableau to embed analytics on a website. So that's a really good question. So if it kind of goes back to what Chris was talking about. So if you have a report that doesn't have sensitive data, so therefore it could be on Tableau Public, you wouldn't have to have any license for that. If your data is sensitive, it needs to be restricted, then you would need to have appropriate licenses from Tableau to handle that. That was a good question that came in. Let's see. Another question, Chris, that came in. This might be for you. How would login credentials pass through when embedding a dashboard to a web page?
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so there's 2 approaches to that. One might be, again, if you're using single sign-on, right? Your portal, if you have some sort of Okta or something like that, you could configure both your portal and Tableau with Okta, right? That user experience, I would say, isn't optimal because you might see the Okta spin when it shows your dashboard. What is the preferred approach to do it is to use something called connected apps. And I'll send out these links as well. We're trying to do too much of tech deep dive here, but there's a great blog post. It's on the Tableau website called Connected Apps Tutorial. You can Google it. And it really steps you through the process of how it works. So essentially, you're setting up a trust between your application or your portal and Tableau. And that's called a connected app. And the connected app specifies, it basically gives you a secret token, right? Information that it gives to you. And that information will allow you to create a token on behalf of the user. And this JWT, this JSON Web Token, is what's used to go ahead and pass information to create that session. And that is then redeemed by the user to show the dashboard. So it's not as hard as it might sound. Here's some code on generating the JSON web token. You pass the secret and everything like that. And it looks a little bit like this. You can see it's got some information, a little bit of coding here, but then it has like the username, and then it opens up a session. The nice thing about this is you can also implement row level security using this JSON web token. This JWT, you feed in different type. Let's say you want to secure by client ID. There's a feature called user parameters, which will user attributes, sorry, which will allow you to pass these filter information through the web versus handling it in Tableau. So it's a little more high level than we were going to do in the webinar, but a little bit more detail to cover in this webinar. But happy to talk about it offline. Yeah.
Cool. Another question that came in was around a time frame to deploy embedded analytics. Chris, is there like an average that it takes, to get off the ground and running in terms of maybe weeks or months?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Yeah, I would say, like I said, a proof of concept, you can get spun up in like a day or so. That's not hard, just an easy proof of concept. To productionize it, we've seen it anywhere from a couple weeks to a couple months. What usually is the long tail, I would say, is the design. If you have a design in mind, it's a lot easier up front. And then also sourcing the data, the actual dashboarding part of it tends to be a little bit longer, but the actual customization, like building the portal itself, is pretty quick. It can be, like I said, usually a couple weeks. We offer a custom portal ourselves, which is sort of a jump start that can get you going, in a couple weeks with the dashboard. So that's also another option.
Another question that came in: what if we don't have a portal?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is a little bit trickier. We do get some folks that only have a website. They don't have a portal. And as I mentioned, there are some third-party portals out on the market that you could purchase or integrate with. More commonly, we offer our own portal and help build out that custom solution for you. It's real quick to do. It sort of jump starts your deployment. And as I mentioned, that takes roughly 2 weeks to turn out. So it's pretty easy.
That is great. I think, Chris, that's all the questions that we had come in. Anyone else have any other questions? These are good.
Good questions.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do appreciate everyone's time. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone.